Hi guys, I was just going to drop in with you today and talk about how you can easily find a way to ground based on the earth sign in your astrological chart. It looks like Kuma, the Great Pyrenees, has joined us for this. He'll probably settle down in a second. And why I'm talking about this today is I do a lot of, if you've had a reading with me, or if I've visited somewhere that you're at, or if you've ever worked with me professionally, I always focus on meditation. Uh, he wants attention in order to silence the mind and get your intuitive hits. So some people aren't into meditation per se, or sometimes it's very hard for people to silence the mind when they have a lot of things going on, including a lot of shakeups in your life or trauma, or if you're just a thinker type energy and you really like to think through things. So an easy way I found to actually get into that meditative state, or at least be grounded enough to calm your energies and not always be in that fight and flight energy, is to actually use the earth sign in your astrological chart, because it's there specifically to balance that sun energy and to get you really grounded back in your body and back in the material world enough so that you're stable enough to be calm and kind of re-energize. So it is easy to find the earth sign in your chart because the earth, if you know your little circular grid of your astrology chart, the earth is actually always opposite the sun. So I am a 27-degree Aries sun. So of course my earth would be located at 27 degrees Libra in my astrological chart. So you also, if you want to really nerd out on your astrology, you can also go into your chart and see like, oh, what falls, where my earth would fall in my astrological chart. And that would also give you more clues to how you ground, or how you can really get back into yourself and calm those energies down for you. Like if you had Venus there, it'd be by you know, depending upon the sign it's associated with, like just enjoying Venusian things, like possibly food or nice pillows, or just fun. Or if you had Mercury there, it might be by learning, or Jupiter, it might be by like having a bigger belief, or, believing that something can happen and going beyond. So of course, I'm going to start with Aries. Aries sun signs. So the earth would be located in your chart in the sign of Libra. So in order to ground your Aries energy, which is often very dynamic and out of control, but also very not necessarily thinking it through, just very a very active sun that we have, can be easily grounded by using the Libra moon or the Libra earth in your chart. So what would a Libra earth be? A Libra earth, Aries is a very independent sun sign. So you actually find grounding Aries within relationships, which may sound odd to you, but it should make sense. Aries sun would find grounding within relationships, within a balanced relationships, within relationships that are simple and have some sort of aesthetic beauty to it. Like this could be a relationship even with animals, or relationship with different organizations, but Aries sun will always find grounding in the other, in the balance of the relationship with the other. Now, if you have an unbalanced relationship with other, that's going to agitate your sun sign as well. So always look for a balance, like an equal give and take in those relationships. And whenever things go off kilter for an Aries sun in relationships, it really puts everything out of balance on the material realm as well. So Aries is really looking for equal relationships, beautiful relationships, thought-provoking relationships as well. Being it's an air sign, it has to be balanced mentally, like easy to speak to, comprehend new ideas. There has to be a sense of integrity and justice in those relationships as well. Taurus suns. I consider your sun sign, or the Taurus energy in general, to represent the earth, just because Aries is kind of like the inspiration. It's like the spark of spirit, the spark of idea. And then with Taurus, you actually take that seed and you plant it in the earth. So Taurus in general, even the sun sign, is a very grounded sign, but you're actually going to find groundedness and balance within yourself through the Scorpio house, which is interesting. So Scorpio is all about investigate. I got my hair flying all over the place. Investigative activities, really, it could be figuring something out, like analytics, diving deep into the places that are sometimes, not, they're often hidden, like astrology or psychicness, or any kind of esoteric things would be very grounding for you. Recycling, any kind of recycling, like composting, would be actually a really grounding activity for you, or changing something into something else. Like if you go and get some like junk from the junk dump, and then you take it home and you turn it into something beautiful. So it's for you, Taurus, considering you're such a fixed earth sign. It's interesting to me that you would find grounding through the actual changing of something, and the recycling and the transformation of other things. Now, this could be, studying psychology or understanding psychology, or even some transgression like meditation or hypnosis that really goes into the deep roots of, your emotional realm. It's a really interesting to me that would be Taurus's grounding. But I have spoken, I've researched if this actually works, and I have found that it does. You guys are actually really grounded and able to like really grasp things like that. So like anything with just recycling, death and rebirth, like maybe you guys are planting and then using the things that are left over from the harvest to make good fresh dirt for next year, and doing things like that, or any kind of psychological esoteric investigation. You could also find a lot of grounding working as an actual somebody that assists people that are going through the dying process, or learning about the dying process more. So just something you would have to be emotionally invested in these things, because Scorpio is a fixed emotional sign. So maybe things that that have traumatized you in the past, you could do something to either research that, or find out how others have dealt with that, or actually reach out and help others in those areas. And that would be very grounding and almost meditative for you. Gemini suns. Geminis, you are very intellectual thinking, jokester energy, very social. You get a lot of fast air thinking energy going on, but you actually would find grounding in the Sagittarius house where your earth resides, which would be actually getting into the more philosophy, like looking into the vastness of the universe, learning about something new, like learning anything would be very grounding for you. Learning something new that broadens your horizons or expands your mindset. Reaching towards things and having dreams and goals, and actually allowing yourself to have belief that these things will manifest, even though if it makes no logical sense. Now, this may seem very opposite to a Gemini, and it should, but that going through that process of belief, using that Jupiter energy of abundance, and just belief in something that doesn't make any, mental sense, would actually be very grounding for you. It would give your mind permission to allow it to shut off. I know a lot of very actually philosophical and psychic Geminis, and they're not the typical Gemini because they did reach into that earth's placement and go beyond and kind of blend them all together in this beautiful mix. So yeah, reaching for a goal that you think is beyond, your capabilities, and allowing yourself to wonder and dream and envision things without the facts to back them up, but still, keeping the promise that can manifest for you. Of course, also foreign countries, foreign cultures, learning about these things, traveling, long distance travel of any kind would also balance a Gemini. But especially foreign countries, foreign cultures that you could learn about or participate in, or even, bring back into your home. And actually hunting. Of course, Sagittarius, I was just reminded this morning, refers to Artemis, who's out, in the woods with her dogs. So, just being out in the element, even if you're not a hunter, to be in the element of, hunting, or, really striving for something, going after something that's bigger than yourself, that's a challenge, would also be balancing for the Geminis. All right. Cancerians, my lovely Cancers. So as a Cancer sun, you are able to move around. You're very dynamic. You are a cardinal sign, but you're also ruled by the moon, which means that you're very reflective. You don't always reflect your emotions outwardly, but you're also very protective and emotional. So your grounding would be in Capricorn, would be your earth sign. So you would actually find grounding in building structures around yourselves. Now, I know a lot of Cancerians, and you guys are always helping everybody, but building structures between Capricorn represents the structures that are in between. So building structures, Cancerians, sometimes between you and other people, will actually bring you a lot of grounding and healing. And it doesn't mean it has to be forever. I know you guys are very welcoming and you love family and, all those sorts of things, but sometimes able to enjoy that and really nourish yourself, which is what we're talking about with your earth sign, is the need for structures, the need for walls, sometimes the need for boundaries in your life. Capricorn also represents rocks. So I find that Cancerian energy always benefits, even just having a rock in your pocket, or a rock by you, or sleeping by rocks, or having some kind of element like that in your home would also, just give you something to hang on to when you feel you're kind of having others kind of reach at your energy, because your energy is very attractive and people like to be basked in the moonlight, of course. Also with Capricorn, taking time to separate, taking time for yourself to separate, not forever, but having things that you do just by yourself and for yourself would be very nurturing and actually a meditative process. Now, be it if that's just sitting, or if that is actually working towards a goal that is no one else's goal besides your own, to have your own personal goal apart from the family structure would be very grounding for the Capricorns. And also, Capricorns do also represent, diving into that divinity, having the structures above you enough so that you can dive into, the deeper soul's purpose, the deeper soul's calling, um, all on your own, and not feeling like you have to share that with other people, or, allowing people to kind of invade that space. All right, Leos, the kings, the fixed fire that lives in integrity, but also, wants an audience, that wants the love from the people, and usually it's earned with Leos. Leos, your earth sign would be in Aquarius, which is, well, literally the universe as a whole. Also, groups of friends and other people's children, and places that are of the higher mind. So you would actually find a lot of grounding, not having to perform, not having to feel like, you're carrying the weight of everything, and being the leader or lion, that the royalty that you're so used to being. Actually, getting involved in a larger group would be very grounding for you. Getting involved in groups that do something for humanity, without having to invade your space with that, or without having to perform personally for that. So getting involved in friend groups, or groups of higher learning or higher knowledge, or getting it, involved in groups that somehow you feel is bettering society or humanity, would actually be super grounding for you. Also, having some kind of philosophy on what the universe means, as a whole, as it interacts with everybody, would be very grounding for you. Actually, opening yourself up to channeling, or just receiving actual guidance from the universe, without thinking about it, without having a lot of pressure put on it, without worrying about the results, would be very grounding for the Leos. And just, Aquarius is a sign all having to do with electricity and waves. And so using actual theta wave, like a very Aquarian meditation technique, using the biaural beats or theta waves, to use that electricity to kind of balance out your brain, and not having to perform and not having to think about it, would be exceptional for the Leo energy. It would also, when you're doing those meditations, I've done those meditations, it also kind of makes you feel like you almost dissolve and expand into the universe. And a lot of crazy things will happen when you're doing that. So Leo, that's where your earth sign is, in Aquarius, in humanity as a whole, and also the larger universe. So that's how you can ground. And then we have Virgo. Virgo, you're you're the feminine kind of grower of things anyway, as I sit by like more plants in my house than is probably outside in summer and winter here. But you actually find your grounding without thinking. You're another mercurial sign. You're another sign that is always analyzing, is always thinking, is always trying to cut waste out. So sometimes it's very hard for you to ground, even though you do worry about results with your thoughts. You're always headed towards the end result. Sometimes it is very grounding for you to go into your Pisces earth sign placement and just flow. That may be very hard for the Virgos, but it's actually where you're going to free up the energy and able to think clearly again. So you also may be very comforted around oceans or soaking in water, or any Piscean activity, such as esotericism or actual traditional meditation could work really well for you, because that's ruled by the 12th Pisces house. Buddhism specifically is ruled by the 12th house. So if you're a Virgo sun, Buddhism could be actually really calming for your energy, or just the practices of Buddhism, meditation, mindfulness, like eating and actually tasting food and slowing everything down so that you can kind of experience every element of things, would be very grounding for you. Also with Pisces, not investigating because you're already a mercurial sign, but just going out into nature or into a water source and feeling, picking up things by actually absorbing it through the sensations in your body, and seeing how that affects your emotions. It's a very Piscean thing to do. Being open to the nonsensical psychic realms, being barefoot. Pisces rules of feet, and actually psychicness traditionally has been known to come through from the earth into your feet. So for a Virgo, being barefoot would be very actually healing and grounding instantaneously for you. And you should definitely feel the difference. Doing anything that is alternative, going into the alternative realms with your body or your mind, and just kind of letting go and allowing things to happen. A lot of Virgos suns benefit a lot from yoga, and stretching of the body is said to release the emotional scars that we have in different places that we don't even know that we're holding. So anything like that, Virgo, for the super analytical Virgo sun, to ground, you should go into your Pisces earth placement. So yeah, good. Librans, and now we're making the scoop around the other side of the other side of the wheel here. So Librans, considering you are justice and the scales itself, and you are all about finding balance in all things, in relationships. You're very creative, you're very aesthetically pleasing. So your actual earth placement would be in Aries, which would indicate that for you to ground, I'm getting chills with this, for you to ground, you would actually want to let go of the balance a little bit. Go towards something creative that's all your own, and don't even think about the results. Just go and do it when you get the spurred motion on. For Libras also, going towards something suddenly, without balancing it out, without worrying what other people will say or think, just feeling that flame of creativity in your heart and grabbing it and saying, yeah, this is me. Like, I'm going to do this crazy art thing, or I'm going to, go on this crazy adventure, or I'm going to suddenly join or, help out this person that needs my help. Like, that's very grounding for the Libras, because you're doing something just for yourself, very independent, very Aries. Also allowing yourself to be childlike. Aries is, of course, the first sign, and we're often very childlike. So just doing something dumb and creative, like finger painting a wall or something you're not really thinking about, the outcome or the consequences. But sometimes Librans really need to not think about the consequences and think about the long term. You need to kind of get messy and go play in the mud and become a little unbalanced in order to, really nurture the earth placement in your chart, and really nurture and bring back that grounding into yourself. So I think that's a super beautiful thing. Of course, I have a Libran sister I've talked about a lot with you guys, Libra sun, moon, and Mercury. So yeah, I can really see, and she's an artist too, so this is great. So yeah, she definitely balances all her Libran things with her very individual art that she doesn't, apologize for. It's very beautiful. It's very individual, and it's very her. So I can attest that works for the Librans. Yeah, finding solo missions, finding solo things to do just because you're spurred to do it. Also starting fires. You might want to burn some stuff, Librans. You might just want to make little fires all the time and kind of like burn some stuff. I was gonna say shit, but burn some shit, I guess. Okay. Okay, and then we have, let me think. Then we have Scorpios. Scorpios, the very deep and emotional and serious and analytical and need to feel safe before you express yourself or let people see inside that emotional house that you own. Scorpio suns, you would find a lot of grounding and balance in Taurus, which is a beautiful thing. So just for you, it's probably the easiest way to ground I can think of. Just being out in nature, allowing yourself the more sensual things, like the richness of the material world. Like if that's to you, like eating something really rich, or just going out and sitting in the woods with like lush moss everywhere, or getting yourself a super silky like velvet or silk pillow, or just allowing yourself an environment that's a little bit bougie, that has like gold stuff, or like some kind of simple but also beautiful in its own right things around your home. Like perhaps gardening would actually be super good for the Scorpio, putting seeds in the earth and allowing something to grow plants around you, just like something from Mother Nature or something from the simple life. Going barefoot without worrying about whatever. Being on the beach, just being around farm animals would be actually really, really healing for the Scorpio sun, because Taurus does represent, of course, cows and farm animals, and just like farming or something, like allowing yourself that and just being around that and having your environment around that. So the simple joys, the simple luxuries are beautiful and grounding to the Scorpio, which I think is very, very nice and relieving. Okay, and now we have the Sagittarius, my Jupiterian, always shooting towards the higher goals. Sagittarius is the life of the party, the philosophers, the ones deeply drawn towards religion and the higher learning and understanding other cultures and long distance travel and assisting others, because you're Jupiter. You actually would receive a lot of grounding, just messing around, not having everything be such a big deal, or not striving towards your goals all the time. Your Earth sign is in Gemini. Therefore, just messing around with no purpose, socializing with no purpose, telling jokes, hanging out with siblings or friends groups, playing games, lowbrow humor, like, and actually allowing yourself to leave things when it doesn't involve you, being a little bit lighter in life, knowing you don't have to save everybody, knowing that trusting in the universe, should be very in God in the universe, should be very easy for the Sagittariuses, trusting that a higher power also leads other people to their destination as well, and allowing that lightness, like you don't have to carry the Like you don't have to carry the souls of the earth on your shoulder. Yeah, so I really hope Saggies can't just do nothing for the sake of doing nothing, kid around. Sagittariuses can usually do that, but I think that they feel guilty about it afterwards. So don't feel guilty this time. Play around with friend groups, play around, talking. You guys really are grounded as a fire sign, always going towards, some kind of bigger goal than yourself. You guys actually find a lot of grounding in just learning little facts or talking or just, doing things for no reason. So, yeah. Short distance travel. You might like to just, go out on a short ride somewhere, a short bike ride, or just, driving around may balance your mind. So yeah, all those things. And learning about things just for no reason, just to acquire facts. All right. So playing games about random facts, maybe, or just playing games that don't have to get too serious. So not Monopoly, maybe, because I don't know. I love winning Monopoly. All right. Capricorns. If you're a Capricorn sun, your earth sign would be in Cancer, which I also find very interesting for you all. Capricorn being the sun sign that's held apart. Usually with Capricorn suns, I find that with Capricorn suns in particular, I find that there's been some kind of separation from the father, or some kind of separation from the structure of the family in some way. So you guys actually find your grounding. Oh, I'm getting chills again. You guys actually find your grounding in the Cancer energy, in the family, in the protected home structure, the place where you guys actually feel like you're able to be yourself, like to have a cohesive family unit. And even if that just involves friends, like making your own, family group or friend group or home or local environment that you really feel comfortable in, so you don't have to be so serious and so always striving for your goals, where you can actually express your emotion freely. Capricorn sun, sorry, my furnace just turned on. Capricorn suns can actually find a lot of grounding emotionally, being around water, lakes, rivers, being out under the moon, being under those more feminine, earthy, things that are emotional in nature, and that, will allow movement in your heart. Like I think that a lot of Capricorn suns don't like to express, but when you put them around these certain elements, like the moon and a full moon and moonlight, or the ocean and water, like it kind of like bubbles up from them. And also, a part of the Cancerian energy is also allowing yourself to receive nurturing and love. So, allowing that Cancerian earth sign placement in for you guys, and gals, and, all things, allowing yourself in your safe structure. Of course, Cancerian is a crab. Allowing yourself to have that safe structure where you can allow those emotions to release, and you can allow that emotional nurturing of yourself through food, which is very Cancerian as well. Allowing people to feed you, allowing yourself to be in an environment where you're not worrying about like so much what you're eating, and just, having that very very loving and protected home structure, and surrounding yourself with that is how the Capricorns feel grounded. And I know this makes sense to you because Capricorns build structure, but the Capricorns build structure like a striving, like a achieving the goals structure, like a climbing the ladder structure. But you actually find grounding in that protective home energy, the protective beauty of your pack energy. And it's that where you'll allow the emotional nurturing that you do need to kind of replenish yourself as well. All right, so now we have Aquarius. Aquarius, the aliens. I love the Aquarius. I have a funny story, Aquarius. So I know an Aquarius sun, and at Halloween, he was literally doing the most humanitarian Aquarian thing. He has this like little one-wheeled thing, and he was scooting all around town, like literally delivering candy to kids. Like, how more Aquarian can you get than that? Aquarians, when they walk, they kind of float. You don't even notice like their movement. They kind of float. Pay attention. Now, Aquarius suns, you might not notice it because you are Aquarius, but the other Aquarians, they just kind of move and you don't even, it's like a flow almost. So that Aquarian was out distributing candy on a tech Aquarian New Age device to children, to the collective Aquarians, you know, other people's children, delivering candy to other people's children on Halloween. How very Aquarian. So Aquarians, you guys find grounding through the Leo house. Now that means for you, very fixed air signs, very fixed, very knowledgeable, very intelligent Aquarians, genius Aquarians, which is probably why we refer to you as aliens most of the time, because you have like this higher knowledge. We don't even understand how you can like pick up these things or be this smart, or I swear Aquarians are channeling all the time and they just think it's knowledge and they don't really know where they got it, and they just know things. Aquarians just know things like naturally. It's like through osmosis, through the air. So Aquarians, you guys would actually find your grounding through the fire sign house, through the stable fire sign house of Leo. So Leo is all about allowing that audience, allowing the focus to be focused on you once in a while, allowing your special skills and talents and guidance to actually be seen in the world, and actually being comfortable with receiving praise for that. Receiving praise for your creativity, receiving praise for, you know, the things that you are passionate about, and not being so dissolving with everything, not being so, you know, on the straight and narrow, allowing that fan base or attention to come in, and also taking up the reins in a thing that you care about passionately with your heart, you know, becoming the leader, starting a group, starting a new passionate endeavor that you're actually leading other people to, would really balance out your Aquarian energy. I know you're known as a water bearer. I know you're known as, you know, the person that carries the water or holds the water, holds a space for the collective. You are usually really caring about humanity, but maybe not so much like interpersonal, you know, dynamics all the time, but to become grounded and to really rejuvenate yourself, you know, doing something that you're the leader of, or allowing, you know, your creativity to show. I know an Aquarian sun who is actually an amazing graphic artist, which is, you know, using that creative Leo energy in the, you know, material realm, which is also a very solo, like he's leading you know, businesses, and you know, taking their vision and saying, here, you know, I'm going to show you, I'm going to lead you, I'm going to be your guidance to make things better. So Aquarius's sons, your grounding energy is doing something, leading something, showing your creativity to the world, something that's just yours, and that you're passionate about, and also you know, allowing that attention on you and allowing that celebration of you. And, you know, could even be acting or performing or making videos, or, you know, some kind of something in front of an audience where it's just you. All right. Pisces. Oh, the sweet Pisces. The very last energy of the astrological horoscope. Pisces, you are very emotional, but you're very, you know, Protective of that energy, but at the same time, you also pick up energy from everybody else around you. You're always flowing all the time. You may not even notice it. So to ground your Pisces sun, to ground your extremely creative, extremely psychic, extremely beautiful energy, but also the one that picks up all the ick from everybody else. So you're sometimes, not that comfortable with things, and you carry a lot of energy. To ground that energy, you need to go to your Virgo house. And your Virgo house is all about mutable earth. It's very Mercury as well. So you might want to learn about something, analyze something, like do all the steps that it takes to, figure out a puzzle. You might like puzzles. You might like actually creating something, doing something with your hands, doing something in a trade that utilizes your Pisces sun, but also grounds it in the material world. My Pisces sun child finds a lot of comfort in animals. Pisces suns would find a lot of comfort in animals because animals are ruled by Virgo house. So, companion animals, or just connecting with animals, or having a passion for animals, doing something with animals would be very grounding for the Pisces sun. You're probably very attracted to animals anyway. You probably psychically understand them somehow. And that's kind of your own little Pisces meditation. Also growing things, literally growing things, like growing plants, consuming herbs, doing something for your health and the health of your body. Yoga would be really good for a Piscean, or even astrology is a very Virgo analytical thing. So looking at your chart, or allowing yourself the time to look at your chart, or just digging in the dirt, like camping, anything in the outdoors, anything that connects you literally physically with the earth. And Virgo is all about cutting things out. So also cutting out things in your diet that may not be the best for you, but also in your environment, cutting things out from your environment, not allowing everything in for the Piscean, who is, that just ever expanding water sign, would be very, very grounding for you. Cutting out the crap, using the Virgo Earth house to literally cut the crap out of your life. Like anything that's like disruptive in your home, you're definitely going to feel. I always say that your outside life really reflects your inside life. So like minimalizing things, organizing things, making sure that things are organized, because you actually feel that on an emotional level, Pisces. Yeah. And also just pets. Pets are going to ground you. So love up on your animals, Pisceans. All right. Well, that is my little note on how to easily ground yourself using your sun sign in astrology to find your earth sign placement and to kind of bring that energy into your life. I hope you guys are having an amazing time. As I'm recording this, it is coming into Saggy season. There's hope. It was a really hard eclipse season, like you guys. I love you all. I'm wearing red galoshes right now. I don't know why I felt the need to show you that. I don't know. I just did. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. If you want to hook up with me, I have, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or you could go to nurseempath.com and sign up for my mailing list, and then you'll be notified when I go live on here, which should be soon again, because the light of Sagittarius is shining on all of us, and we're all feeling kind of renewed. So I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.